Hello everybody, this is Tyler here once again from the Other Games channel, and this video is going to be kind of a video that I normally don't do. This is really the first time I'm ever doing a video that's actually about this kind of stuff. But today, February 4th, marks the 10-year anniversary of a show that I'm gonna assume a majority of you have probably never heard of. It is the Mr. Men Show. And for those of you who are wondering what that is, basically, it was a TV show that ran for 2 seasons and had 52 episodes. It was in America, it was on Cartoon Network. In other countries, it was on a lot of different channels. I think in Canada, it was on YTV, and then in the UK had it on Milkshake 5, I think it was called. I don't really know. I apologize if I got it wrong. But yeah, it was a show. It's based on the Mr. Men and Little Miss characters, if any of you are familiar with them. Just like the Mr. Men Show, I'm going to assume a majority of you aren't familiar with the characters as well. But yeah, basically it's a show centered around them. Each episode was focused on a particular theme. Oh, here's an episode about a mall. Here's an episode about dancing. An episode about trees. So it's about, every episode has, a particular theme. And there's, a few mini-stories in there. They run around 2 to 3 minutes, basically. And they have, the characters interacting with, into funny situations involving that theme, basically. So that's basically the whole point of the show. Also, there's a few commercial parodies in there. Almost every episode has something about that. There are songs in there in some episodes, not every episode, but some episodes. But yeah, that's basically the show in a nutshell. Anything else I gotta say about the series? Yeah, so basically it got canceled after 2 seasons, but even though it was canceled, a lot of people to this day still appreciate the show, and I'm gonna list one particular example. This is a person by the name of Percy and DuckFan94. They are on YouTube and DeviantArt, so I'm gonna put a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. He makes a lot of, especially nowadays, he makes a lot of animations related to the Mr. Men Show. He does a pretty good job capturing the show's art style. He often, animates, the characters, being in situations. I know he, actually animated a deleted scene from, one of the actual Mr. Men Show episodes called Paint. He did that recently. But, yeah, like I mentioned before, he does, animations related to the show, but, it's not really any clips or anything in particular from the show. It's mostly, just, them, I don't know how to describe this. Let's say, for an example, okay, there's a video he does with Mr. Tickle, for an example. In the British dub of the show, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. The show had, an American dub and a British dub. In the British dub, Mr. Tickle was voiced by Rob Rackstra, who also is I think, the American voice actor of James in the new Thomas and Friends CGI series. But, yeah, anyways, he put, Mr. Tickle in the animation, and he had, voice clips from James from the newer Thomas episodes. Yeah, you see what I did there? Not what I did there, what he does there. I apologize. But, yeah, you see what I'm saying. You see, you understand. I don't need to go on any further. He does things like that, for the most part, on his YouTube channel. So, yeah, he's probably the most well-known example of a fan of the show. I can't really think of anybody else that's a bigger fan of the Mr. Men Show than him. But yeah, feel free to sub to his channel, follow him on DeviantArt. His DeviantArt username is the same as on YouTube. But yeah, some people still like the show to this day. And what do I think about the show? I'm surprised you asked. It took this long for me to answer this, but I think it's a pretty good show overall. Not fantastic. I don't think it's the best thing ever. If you're wondering what I'm holding here, it's a fidget cube. Yeah, that's right. These things are in the market. But off topic. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good show. Nothing fantastic, but still worth watching. It has a good amount of funny moments. What do I think are the funniest parts of the show? I don't know. I usually get a kick out of a lot of the things that Mr. Fussy gets into, or Mr. Persnickety as he was called in the first season. Yeah, those are probably usually my favorite moments from the show, but there's a couple other good ones here and there. I'm not going to really mention them in the video, but yeah, it's worth the watch. Where can you find these episodes? I think almost all of them are on YouTube. Like, I think you can find like every episode on YouTube, both the British dub and the American dub. But yeah, anything else I gotta say about this show? And honestly, why am I doing a video about this show and not doing any like, you know, other 10-year anniversary videos or any milestone videos of any other media thing in general? If you're wondering why I'm doing one for this, I'll tell you. It's not just the Mr. Men show, but like the Mr. Men characters in general have kind of somewhat inspired my art style. Like, if you guys of course don't know, I aspired to be an animator someday. So yeah, the Mr. Men characters are kind of an inspiration for my art style. Like, I know, like for example, a lot of the characters I draw are have shoes that are very similar to the shoes that the Mr. Men and Little Miss characters wear. That's one example. And yeah, that's kind of about it. So they have some part in like my art style. So I gotta thank the Mr. Men show and even the Mr. Men characters in general for somewhat inspiring my art style. Now, I know some of you guys are wondering, well, how come you're, like, you know, inspired by some kid's brand in order to, like, you know, get your art style done? Well, I will tell you one thing. I don't know. I feel like the Mr. Men characters, it's something that's, like, man, I'm sorry for that voice cracked. It's something that, like, hasn't really been done before. Like, the Mr. Men characters first originated in the 70s. And really, there was no other brand of characters that were, like, you know, based on, like, you know, a certain personality or mood or whatever. Like, I feel like nothing before that was ever done. Of course, there were other things in the future that were done like similar to this, like the Smurfs, for an example. A really more popular example. But yeah, I just really like the concept of the Mr. Men characters, and I know the designs are very simplistic, but I might as well, you know, say this. Individuals with, you know, autism tend to like, cartoon characters with simple designs, and I might as well say this, I'm autistic myself, and I like the designs. Yes, I fit into that stereotype. I might as well admit it in this video. But whatever. But other than that, I think for the most part, that's all I gotta say about the show. So happy 10th anniversary to the Mr. Men show. A pretty big inspiration, not the biggest inspiration, but a big inspiration for my art style. But yeah, so, yeah, go watch the show on YouTube if you guys haven't yet. And like I said, follow PercyDuckFan94 on YouTube and DeviantArt, because he makes a lot of interesting Mr. Men pictures and Mr. Men animation videos. So I'm giving him a free plug. But yeah, that's about does it for this video. Stay tuned for more content to come on this channel. And this is Tyler from the the Character Workshop channel. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna upload it to. Okay. Enough talking. I'm signing out. See you all later.